Uganda's biodiversity, I would say, has been improving over the past few years. We had the 70s and 80s, which had a decline in wildlife populations. These have been reversed, especially in protected areas where we have seen wildlife populations, particularly for the large herbivores, the elephants, the buffaloes, the hippos, and antelopes increasing. We have not yet reached the population of the 1960s and the 50s, but I think the census reports have consistently shown an increase in population, and if this is sustained over the next 10 or so years, we should be able to have good wildlife populations. Of course, this is attributed to having secure protected areas, because most of our protected areas are now well gazetted with clear boundaries that well protected, and so it is very easy. In the past we had a challenge of knowing the boundaries, and also the effective management through the capacity building that we have been having as an institution through the various support from donors and government to deliberately train staff and provide equipment to be able to manage these protected areas. However, we are witnessing a reduction in some wildlife populations, particularly the predators or the carnivores in protected areas, but this is mainly attributed to human factors, because most of these protected areas have no buffers, so we have pastoral communities that live around these protected areas, and of course the carnivores are also predating on the cattle and livestock. So there is a lot of poisoning that is going on for the carnivores, and because their populations are already low, any small problem that affects their population in a given protected area has adverse effects. The state of biodiversity outside protected areas is something that we are much worried about, because whereas we have an increase of wildlife in protected areas, the situation is a little bit different outside protected areas. We used to have lots of wildlife outside protected areas, but I think because of the land pressures, the increasing human population, the safety of wildlife outside protected areas is not guaranteed, and yes, we seem to be having challenges there. However, we have hope that since we have good protection in protected areas, that can also be mitigated.
Okay.